Let's learn how to fill out a lateral transfer form. You can get the form from your supervisor. You can do a hard copy or you can do it on the computer, whatever you prefer. The first thing you want to do is make sure you read the form. It's going to give you a lot of good information, such as you can only change your work assignment from your present job title to a vacant job with the same title. So unfortunately, you cannot fill out this form to request a promotion or any change of your job title or grade. You can read this contract language in the Union University Agreement. It's Article 12.1, Section B. You must have the form submitted 5 calendar days prior to the date of the final approval to fill the vacancy. And all that means is if you know the job is going to be vacant, you are most likely too late. You need to use this as a planning tool, not a reaction tool. It's valid for 12 months from the date submitted, and it becomes void if you are offered a lateral and you refuse it. And the decision is made based on work unit seniority, which is the date you started in OPP. All right, so let's start filling this out. The top portion of the form is pretty straightforward. It's just all of your current information. So your name, your PSU ID, title. If you're a grade 10, you're a janitorial worker. Grade 9, maintenance worker utility. Grade 8 is building maintenance worker. But whatever you currently are, puts that in for the title and the grade. The shift, it helps if you put in the actual hours that you work. Obviously, most first shift is 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Most second shift is 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. But we do have some people that work random hours, so it is helpful if you just put in the actual hours that you work. Days off, again, just whatever your days off are, and we are custodial, so we're only going to fill out the district, and that is your current district. Like I said, pretty straightforward, just all of your current information. All right, so the bottom portion of the form is where you are going to request a change to, where you want to end up, is what this is looking for. And this is where things get really fun, really exciting, because you can be as vague or specific as you would like in this portion of the form. It all depends on what your goal is or what outcome you want to see. You must determine a shift, so you do need to pick what shift you want to be on, and again, you want to physically put in the actual time that you want to work, whether that be 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., 4:30 a.m. to 1 a.m., or if it's the 10 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., whatever you want it to be, put it in. You can see up here, I did change my shift here to second. I'm now a grade 10 in District 32, working 4:30 to 1. So down here, I'm going to pick a shift. 5:30 a.m., I'm messing up, 5:30 a to 1:30 p.m. Again, if I wanted to get like an 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., I believe that they have those in the art museum now, or if it was a 6 p.m. to 2:30 a.m., like in the daycare, I would specifically put that in, but you do need to determine a shift. Now down here, days off, I could do any if I didn't care what days off that I had, and I could also go down to district and put any. And this just means that this lateral is about as vague as you can be. This one I would put in just because I needed off a second shift and I needed to get on to first shift. That's why I would fill it out like this. I don't care what days off I have. I don't care what district I end up in. I just need on that shift. Now, again, I could put in, I definitely want to have weekends off. I want my Saturday, Sunday off, but I don't care where I end up in terms of a district. This also works. It's pretty vague, so any position on this shift with these days off that I have the most work unit seniority, I would get a call and ask for this, if I would like to take this lateral. Again, if I deny it, they tell me it's in, a building that I actually end up, I don't want to be in that building, and I deny it. This is all void, and I would have to submit another one. Now, you can be very specific about this. You can put in, a specific district that you want to end up in. You can also put in buildings. You can put in the actual building that you want to end up in. You have a friend or somebody, or you just really like that building. You can put in just to get in this district in Chambers building. But again, now you need this position to become vacant. The grade 10 in Chambers, it needs to become vacant, and you must have the highest work unit seniority to end up in here. So you're less likely to get this opportunity than you would if you would just type in any. But this is completely up to you. You can put in as many of these as you would like, but for each request to change, so if I did, let's say I wanted to go to 31 on this one, but I also didn't care if I ended up in, 71, I would then submit a different lateral paper for the 71 move. Okay, that's really all there is to it. You can be specific, you can be vague, really depends on what you are trying to do, where you're trying to end up. If you ever make a mistake on any of this, like for instance, you can't pick buildings, you can't just do buffet style and be like, man, I'd really like to work in Chambers, Kern, and Rackley building, right? Those buildings aren't in a group already, so you can't just put together your own district and make it up. But if you ever do make a mistake on this, Sandy Leitner is the one who's going to receive this, and she's going to reach out to you and clarify what you put in. You don't have to worry about it just getting thrown out because it's filled out incorrectly. Sandy is going to contact you and make sure all of the information's correct and the lateral is in for where you hope to end up. Okay, and then the final piece of the puzzle here is the signatures. You just want to sign it and you date it. And most importantly, the supervisor signature and date. The date that the supervisor signs it is when the lateral becomes active. So you don't put it on your break room table and wait for them to, come to you to sign it. Don't just drop it off on their desk while they're not there. Make sure you have your supervisor sign and date it, and then make a copy of it for yourself. Have your supervisor make a copy of it for you. You do want to have this for your records, and this signature and date are super important because it could come into play with the 5 days. You don't want to waste any time getting these approved by your supervisor. If your supervisor's off, a supervisor is all you need to sign and date it. Call the covering supervisor, get a hold of a shift supervisor. Really, anyone who supervises somebody in custodial can help you out with the sign and their signature and the date here. But please make sure you get that, and always, always, always keep a copy for yourself, for your own records. always helps to be able to pull that out if a mistake happens. So once this happens, your supervisor will send it to Sandy, and Sandy will acknowledge that she received it in an email, and she will make sure you are on that email as well. If a couple days pass by, reach out to your supervisor, reach out to Sandy if you haven't heard anything. If it did get missed for a couple of days, it's still active the date that your supervisor signed it. So we will go back in time if any opportunities came up, and we will make that right. So always make sure you get this signature and date. Make sure you see it happen, and make sure you get a copy of this form. But that is it. That's how you fill it out. Take advantage of it. It is a cool tool that will help you, see more areas the custodial has to offer, and take advantage of it.